Something you probably have in your kitchen right now. Something so common we almost never think about it. The humble onion. But what if I told you its story is anything but ordinary?
I mean, seriously, think about it. It's the starting point for so many incredible meals, but it's always just there. It's the ultimate supporting actor that never gets the spotlight. Well, today, we're changing that.
You see, this isn't just a vegetable. It's a piece of history, it's a chemistry lesson, and it's even inspired poetry. So let's do it. Let's peel back the layers of the ordinary onion and uncover the extraordinary story hiding inside.
So first things first, the most familiar layer. The onion's job is the literal foundation of flavor all around the world. It's kind of amazing when you realize that so many different cuisines all start with the same basic idea, an aromatic base. And the onion is almost always the star of that show.
Take France, for example. It all begins with the classic mirepoix. You know the one. Onion, carrot, celery. You just dice them up, sweat them slowly in some butter, and bam! You've built this subtle, incredible backbone for pretty much every French stock, soup, or sauce you can imagine.
Now, let's jump over to the US, down in Louisiana. Here, they have what they call the holy trinity of Cajun and Creole cooking. They take the French idea, but swap out the carrot for green bell pepper. And that one little change gives dishes like gumbo and jambalaya their totally unique, iconic flavor.
Or how about Spain? Their sofrito starts with onion and garlic, but then they add tomato. That addition completely changes the game, creating this rich, tangy, slightly sweet base that is absolutely essential for things like paella. It's brilliant.
And even in Germany, with their Suppengrün or soup greens, you find the onion's close cousins, like leeks, doing the heavy lifting with other root veggies. It really proves the point, right? No matter where you are on this planet, chances are deliciousness starts with something from the onion family.
So we know it makes things taste good, but how? What's actually going on in the pan? Well, let's peel back another layer, because the chemistry of a cooking onion is way more fascinating than you might think.
Okay, here's a fun fact. We all talk about caramelizing onions, but that's not really what's happening. Caramelization is just browning sugar. What's actually creating that incredible flavor is the Maillard reaction. It's way more complex. It's a reaction between sugars and amino acids that creates hundreds of new, savory, nutty, and delicious compounds. That's the magic right there.
And get this. This chart shows the amount of glutamic acid, which is the stuff that gives us that savory, meaty flavor we call umami. A raw onion has a decent amount. But as you cook it down and get that Maillard reaction going, you boost the available umami by more than a third. You're literally transforming the onion into a concentrated umami bomb. It's incredible.
All right, we've talked about the delicious side of the onion. Now, let's talk about the layer that fights back. What is the deal with the tears? Why does this one vegetable wage chemical warfare on our eyes every single time?
Well, it all comes down to a little something called the lachrymatory factor. That's just a sciencey name for the irritating chemical that onions release. And this isn't an accident. It's a defense mechanism. It's the onion's way of saying, hey, don't eat me. When we slice into it, we're basically triggering its tiny tear-filled alarm system.
And here's exactly how that attack goes down. Step 1, your knife breaks open the onion cells, releasing an enzyme. Step 2, that enzyme immediately finds some sulfur compounds and turns them into a really unstable acid. Step 3, that acid instantly rearranges itself into that pesky, tear-jerking gas. It goes airborne, hits your eyes, and your brain screams, "Emergency! Flush it out!" It's a brilliant, instantaneous chemical booby trap.
So the onion is a flavor genius and a chemical warrior. But if we peel back even further, we find a much older story. This is a vegetable that's been seen as a source of health and power for thousands and thousands of years.
I mean, humans have been eating onions since before we were writing things down. It was one of the very first crops we ever figured out how to grow on purpose. And it makes sense, right? They're easy to grow, they don't spoil quickly, and you can carry them with you. For early civilizations, this was a perfect food. It's been our partner in the kitchen since the very beginning.
And it turns out our ancestors were really onto something. Modern science is now backing up what they knew intuitively. Get this, a massive review of 16 different studies found that people who ate the most onions had a 15% lower risk of colorectal cancer. That's a huge number for such a simple, everyday food.
And that's not even the whole story. Onions are loaded with antioxidants, especially one called quercetin, which is great at fighting inflammation. They help your heart, They've got prebiotics that feed the good bacteria in your gut. They help with blood sugar. It's just a humble little powerhouse of nutrients.
Okay, we've peeled back the layers of flavor, chemistry, history, and health. So for this final layer, I think it's time to just step back and appreciate the onion for what it is. A thing of simple and kind of profound beauty.
No one saw this better than the great poet Pablo Neruda. In his famous Ode to the Onion, he doesn't just see a vegetable, he sees a luminous flask. He sees beauty in its crystal scales. He takes something totally common and makes it sound magical.
In this line, you make us cry without hurting us. Isn't that perfect? He's taking that chemical reaction we just talked about, that sting in our eyes, and he's turning it into something deeper, an experience that's intense, but ultimately good for us.
And this is the perfect end. The onion, this luminous flask, has a humble destiny, to land upon the table of the poor. It's both miraculous and accessible to everyone. It really is the humble star of the earth.
So, from a simple ingredient to a chemical defense system, from an ancient medicine to a poetic muse, the onion is anything but ordinary. It wonder, doesn't it? What other amazing stories are hiding in plain sight, just waiting for us to peel back the layers?